talk about B-Reels? What is that?
It's just a social media app that goes off. You take a picture every day, and it goes off at a random time.
All right.
Yeah, that's why it's called B-Reels.
Maybe missing something.
Right?
All right. All right, everybody. So obviously, as you know by the program and by the stunningly good-looking young men up here, this is the men's varsity team for Dominion Academy Soccer. Yes, what a great season this was. I really don't know how to boil it down quickly, so I really didn't. So we're going to be here a while now. I think if I look at some of the ways to summarize what was so great about this team, in the 6 years that I've been coaching DA soccer, this is the team that has had the least internal conflict. Obviously, when you have a group of 18, 19 sinners getting together, there's always going to be conflict. But this team had the least, and that was really, very, very minimal, and so it was great. A bunch of quality young men who love Jesus. Also, and this is props to those red team players up there, our JV squad. When we scrimmage, it's quite a blessing as a coach to be able to go full squad 11v11 scrimmage with subs. So one of the blessings of having a lot of players. But the quality of play that our red team presented throughout the year is a higher quality of play than our varsity had when I first took over the program 6 years ago. In general, across the board, the quality of play has continued to elevate each year. So yes, we had different players who are starters and who are substitutes or are on black team versus red team, but across the board, every single member of DA Soccer should be incredibly proud of the quality product they put out there that comes out of hard work at practice, that comes out of hard work at home. So good job, all of you young men. So we did really well. DA has now come to own the OVCC league in the last couple of years, making it not super close in competition in league, which is a really nice feeling to have. So that was good. Unfortunately, we let Spring Valley get a little bit too close to us twice, one tie and one PK overtime win, but ultimately we came out victorious, so that was great. Yeah, just what a pleasure it was to coach these young men and how much fun we had this year. So if we go through each one of these players, keeping in mind that this team came the closest we've ever come to beating Landmark, which is an incredibly skilled team. We dominated our league competition, played against both Division I and Division II public schools in the area, and not just kept it competitive, won some of those games. And there's just a lot, again, to be proud of for this small school, and it is the way that these young men have gelled together and elevated their game together. Ultimately ending in second place in the NCSA Division II tournament. Again, keeping that in context, we've always been in Division III, and because of the quality of our play this year against quality opponents, we got bumped up a division because of our strength of schedule, and still were able to finish second and almost pulled off the win after a tremendous goal that led us to PKs. All right, so going over each player, so our first one, we'll start off with our freshman on the team, David Zink.
Woo!
All right. For anybody who knows David knows that he has a great attitude, always has a smile on his face, and is just a fun kid to have on the team. One thing I really appreciate about David this year is that he was willing to take a hit. Playing center midfielder, he got hit a lot. But one thing I didn't know about David is he's really good at taking a fall as well. I won't say a flop, but a fall. And I look forward to seeing a lot more calls come from that next year. So he had excellent distribution and was a quality player, and is going to be an asset for years to come. Aiden Downing. So Aiden also was one of our 4 center midfielders this year. He had excellent distribution, and he really owned the position and distributed the ball well this year. He also showed a lot of flexibility, sometimes moving from center mid, sometimes moving to outside mid, depending on what the team needed, and always excelled at sportsmanship. Always gave his all and really worked hard out there, but he was also very kind and considerate towards the other team, and I really appreciate that about Aiden this year. Eli Charles. So, like many of you know, one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life was marrying my wife, Paula. One of the second best decisions I ever made was listening to her to tell her when she told me to put Eli in defense. So she'd been on me about that since July, so that's props to Paula, because she recognized the athletic talent there. So one of the best decisions we made as a coaching staff was moving Eli to defensive center mid position, and it really changed the way we were able to do our lineup, changing our formation, and he really owned that position. So I loved Eli's willingness to be flexible and to change what I told him all summer he was going to be doing partway through the season, and to really learn that position, and not just learn it, but own it really well. He played a very physical game, very strong game, but was very precise with his passes after winning the ball, and we appreciate the tremendous impact he had at that position. So, is Cody here? Did I miss Cody? Oh, Cody. No, right. Cody's roast of me was one of my favorite things of the season. Actually, I'm just going to say this as a shout out real quick. So Cody Johnson couldn't be here today, but I had two favorite memories from the season. One was he roasted me, and it was awesome, and it was really funny. He did a really good job, kind of pointing out some of my mannerisms. But my single most favorite thing of the season was Cody accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior right at the beginning of the season.
Hallelujah.
And that will forever stick in my mind as one of the best things that happened, as the best thing that happened this season. So, sorry Cody couldn't be here, but just wanted to give that shout out to that eternal decision he made this year. All right, next up we have Braden Cohen. Looking nice today. All right. So when I think of Braden and important things that happened this year, I talked about that close game against Landmark. Braden played lights out, one of his best games he did. He was all over the field, had lots of good distribution, moving the ball back and forth with our midfield. Had the clutch goal from the top of the 18 across the entire 18 to the back post side pocket, about a foot off the ground the entire time. It was one of the best goals I saw all year, and it came at such a clutch time against a very good opponent. So I will always remember that. One thing I also appreciated about Braden this year is he really pushed the team, especially early on in the year, with conditioning, and really encouraged younger players to be challenged and to work harder. I was super excited that he remained healthy all year this year. I think that was the first year with no significant injuries. And I just love the way that he was an encouragement, pushing people, and always willing to always telling me, hey, I'll go into whatever position you need me to coach. So it's been a pleasure to coach Braden for these last 3 years. All right, William Hollins. So William has had steady improvement in his play throughout the course of his time with us at DA. He has a very aggressive physical style of play, which as a former defender I really love, because there's nothing more annoying than a cocky striker on the other team, and it's great to have somebody who can set them on their backside. So love that about William's aggressive style of play. He had an excellent work ethic through all of our practice sessions, worked really hard on his conditioning, and whatever drill or component of the facet of the game we were working on, I always knew I could count on William to give 100%. It's been a pleasure to coach him, and we will definitely miss him. All right, Isaac Charles. So I was really excited, obviously, about Cody's salvation experience. One of the other highlights when I was so excited early on in the season is we were scrimmaging both teams, and Isaac was running full speed, hard and fast and making cuts. And I, see how I do it now, I almost broke down tears, and I went up and I shook him. I was like, Isaac, you're back. You're back. Because after tearing his ACL 2 years ago and then going through the rehab last year and having to play with the brace, it was such a joyful experience for me to watch him just running really hard and fast and making cuts. That is also the memory I'll keep in our end of our tournament game, when he was running down the sideline and overpowering multiple defenders and actually getting an extra 6th gear that I had forgotten that he had through those injury years. Unfortunately, he got hurt at the end of that play, thankfully, not as bad as before. But it's been a real joy coaching Isaac over these last 4 years, and I really appreciate the perseverance he's shown over that time. Having a major injury, sticking with the team, sticking with his rehab, having rehab not go as well as he'd like, and yet still maintaining a good attitude throughout the whole time. Those are those character traits that are going to carry him very far in his following Christ, and it's just been such a pleasure to coach him. All right, Zach Wolf. So Zach Zach is always honest. I can always count on Zach to tell me, he's like, Coach, I really dropped the ball today and I didn't eat enough before practice. And so much so, sometimes I tell him, Zach, it's okay. Like I know that you're out here giving your best, but he always wanted to tell me, when he felt like he wasn't giving his best. But the thing is, I knew Zach was always working really hard. And one of the things that I learned about Zach this year is that, and I hope that he learned about himself, is even when he felt that he had given it his all, there was a deeper reserve that he could tap into. And sometime in life, he's gonna have to go to that, I'm sure, because we all know life has its ups and downs and hard things in life. But we really saw that in our first game against Spring Valley when, let's just say that not the rest of the team really brought their A game that day. Just saying, we should have blown them out of the water and ended up in a tie, and they celebrated like they had won, the World Cup and for a tie, and it was really grating on us. But Zach was one of those players where I looked at him at halftime and said, can you lead this team? And he really did. He stepped up and he gave such a tremendous physical and mental effort. He played a different position than he normally does because that's what the team needed from him that day. And that helped us be undefeated in league play. And I really appreciated what I saw in Zach that day and hope he remembers that as he carries on from here. And it was a joy coaching Zach for these last 3 years, and we'll definitely miss him. All right, Nathaniel Downing. Speaking of a defender who likes to play physical, so Nathaniel's grown up from a sophomore who was just learning to play physical high school soccer and understanding the wear and tear that takes on the body over that year, to now he was one of these players I knew he could take any abuse the other team would give him, and he would frankly get really mad at me if I'd take him out even for a second, even though I could tell he was getting really hit hard. His physical style of play, in addition with his smart play, allowed us to transition from a 4-4-2 formation to only 3 in the back. And I knew that I could count on Nathaniel to not let the team down there. I love the juxtaposition of his sweet and caring off-field personality with the intense competitor's drive that he embodied on the field. It's been an absolute joy coaching Nathaniel, and we will definitely miss him. All right, next up is Isaac Walters. So Isaac has earned our Outstanding Offensive Award for the year. Outstanding Offensive Award. He's not offensive, he's Outstanding Offensive Player. So Isaac scored his first, I believe his first goal in our first home game within a few 5 minutes. He said, hey coach, can I go play right wing? I feel like I score better for my club team out there. I mean, it wasn't even 90 seconds later, he put the ball in the back of the net, and I said, yeah, I think I'll let you play out there. So, but he rotated from midfield, outside midfield, up to striker, depending on what we needed. And that first goal was a really harbinger of good things to come, because he really scored a lot of critical goals for us throughout the year, as well as many critical assists. The NCSA tournament, any of you there would know, like his upper 90 goal, the corner kick that he actually scored as a goal. And then the most intelligent play that I've seen in soccer in a long time, when we had our direct kick in our the final game for NCSAs, and the other team was just trying to get their defense together, and their goalie was talking, and none of them were paying attention. And with people just 2 feet in front of him, he threaded it between their defense and put it in the open net. While they stood around confused as all get out. But that was the goal that led to a tie that let us go to PKs. So it's been an absolute pleasure coaching Isaac, and I love his love for the Lord, his draw to get us to pray at any and every opportunity we have, and I know the Lord has wonderful things marked out for him.
Amen.
Alrighty, next up, Caleb Wargill. So Caleb is earning our Outstanding Midfielder Award this year, or he did earn it. So Caleb has excellent ball skills and worked hard on improving his physical play as well as his finishing skills this year. I have no idea how he did it given his stature that's very much like mine, but he managed to get probably the highest percentage of head balls on corner kicks of the rest of the team, and we were always like, how did Wargill get that? But he was always putting the ball on goal, so that was fun to see. His game time leadership and technical execution and following strategic changes we made at halftime in our NCSA game really made a difference in our winning the semifinal game against a tough offsides trap. And he played smart, he listened to what the coaches asked him to do and executed it with perfection, and that really led to a great outcome. Caleb's always got a smile, and I'm super excited about having him back on the team next year. All righty, Kobe Fox. So it will come as no surprise to those of you who watch us play that Kobe's earning the Outstanding Defender Award. So Kobe's, probably the most accurate assessment I can tell you of Kobe's development as a soccer player is that on those very rare occasions where he made a less than optimal pass or not a perfect trap coming out of the air, the coaches and I would look at each other and say, what's wrong with Kobe? Like, what's going on? Like, he made a mistake. So that should tell you our level of expectation for him because he set the bar so high for himself. Also in the All-Star game, I heard multiple of the other teammates talking about how good he was and how much they hated going against him. So again, props to Kobe. He's got outstanding speed, and is rarely, if ever, beaten on one-on-one play. Excellent touch out of the air, winning the ball, and he also put the ball in the back of the net for us at several crucial points this season from long distance. So we loved having Kobe there and look forward to having him back. Alrighty. Elijah Heert. So Elijah has earned definitely the leadership award this year. So he was our most consistent, what I would call advanced scout. If I knew nothing about the team we're going to play, I could always look to Elijah and say, what can you tell me? And he would tell me their record, goals scored against, goal allowed, their goalkeeper's percentage of saves, and if they had a top scorer to what number they were, which would give us an idea what kind of attack they had, even if we've never seen them play. In addition, he updated Max Preps with all of our record and our stats, which helped us get that good seeding for our NCSA tournament. So that leadership of doing what the team needed when nobody else was recognizing it, I hadn't asked him to, that he just went out and saw a need, knew that it would help the team, and it really, really, truly did. And I love the mindset. Like I said, Kobe rarely makes a mistake, but when he does, it catches your attention. We'll talk later, Kobe. So I really love that attention to detail that Elijah put and the commitment to his team to doing all that background work that took a lot of hours off the field that really led to on-field success. All right, Noah Francisco. So Noah has earned the Most Improved Award. So like with so many of these seniors, Noah's been a joy to coach over these last many years. He was always willing to work hard at everything we've asked him to do. I mean, I've asked him to play literally every position on the field, including goalkeeper, and he's never once complained, told me no, or showed any unwillingness to. However, the quality of his play really began to increase at the end of 2022, and I remember that state final game, like he played an outstanding game. And really this summer, he picked up right where he left off, continued to work really hard and develop himself as a center midfielder. I think this was the first year we really played you in the same position all year. So, maybe the fact that he improved was because his coach finally figured out what the heck to do. I don't know. But verbally, he was a quiet leader on the team, yet on the field he set the standard for the team in toughness and effort. He was a physical force in the middle who also scored a number of critical goals throughout the season, including the league tournament championship against SVA. So it's been a pleasure coaching Noah, and he'll definitely be missed. Caleb Masters. Caleb has earned the Coach's Award. So I've had the pleasure of coaching Caleb for the last 5 years. Actually, he helped me in desperate times coming out as an 8th grader when I think we had 14 people on an 11-man sport team. So it's been so much fun coaching him over the last 5 years. Over that time, Caleb has been hands down the most encouraging player I've ever coached. He's always encouraging his teammates, whether it's in practice, whether it's during games, whether it's during fitness, or drills. You can always hear him offering a kind word of encouragement to everybody on the team. I could also always count on Caleb to take over conditioning whenever I needed. If the hospital was calling, I'd be like, Caleb, go work, go make him run. Or at the end of the practice, he was always a fan of doing the African circle, which is one of our kind of high intensity exercise conditioning drills. So his passion for the game and the intensity that he brought to the big matches are definitely some of those key memories that I'll keep with me. And I will definitely miss coaching. I think I got it. everyone's staring at me like it. Okay, so I'll turn it over to the coach for the coaches stuff. But again, just wanted to thank all you parents for trusting these young men to me, to us during this time. It's been such a pleasure to spend the time. I really, really, truly enjoy each and every minute we get to spend together. It's been so much fun. We've had some good conversations off season at our Bible study over the course of the summer. Remember, when they're not up here at soccer, remember to challenge them to reject passivity, to accept responsibility, to lead courageously, and expect the greater reward. Those 4 pillars of manhood. Make sure that they're shaking your hand firmly, looking them in the eye. Make sure you're opening the door for your moms and your sisters and the other women in your life, okay? But most importantly, always follow Jesus first and foremost. That is the single most important thing in all your life, all right? And then I also want to thank our assistant coaches. So Travis has been assistant coaching for the last 3 years, which has been a great pleasure. We've been friends for a really long time since, our oldest were really, really little, but it was such a pleasure to have Travis coaching for his last 3 years. I'm definitely going to miss him next year. We'll keep working on him to come back. But wanted to thank you for all the times that you pitched in. No matter how many times I text you, I'm running late. He was always there to help out. And same with Alex. I really appreciate how many times Alex was able to step in, when we had coaching complications with our jobs and our families and our lives. And also just an outstanding job Alex did coaching the red team as well. So thanks to both of those young men.
Whoa. Good afternoon. I'm Eli here. Here with me are Noah Francisco, Nathaniel Downing, and Caleb Masters. We are the captains this year for the Dominion Academy of Dayton boys varsity soccer team. I'd like to start by thanking our trainer, George Sandlin, and our athletic director, Melissa Heer. This season, we ended with a record of 15, 8, and 2, becoming national runner-ups as well as back-to-back conference champions. Thank you to all the parents and coaches that made this season happen. Thank you for all the time spent driving to practices and games, also volunteering to help our program function as smoothly as possible.
Over the past 3 years I've played for DA, Coach Alex has taken up a lot of responsibilities. From the role of coach as the red team, to running practices for both the red and black team when both Coach Sven and Coach Travis were unavailable. Coach Alex is one of the first to tell us that we're having a good game, giving words of encouragement as well as constructive criticism. He gets inside with us. I remember after a lights out performance against New Hope, we were walking back to the sideline and I was shoved out of nowhere, and Coach Alex, with excitement on his face, says, "Way to lock down the middle, Francisco." He gets us pumped up as the rest of us. Whether we're shutting out Mars Hill or holding our own against Landmark. He invested himself into this program. He's not the only Heert that gives so much. The entire Heert family gives care and sacrifice for our team, along with Coach Raymond and Masters. Without them, we would not be here. We wouldn't be champs. Half of us wouldn't even know each other. We are incredibly blessed to have people like Coach Alex, who care about giving students a place to glorify God through sports. Amen. So on behalf of all of us, I say thank you for being our coach, and thank you for 3 amazing seasons.
Now I'm going to be talking to you about Coach Travis Masters. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Coach Masters is a huge inspiration for me and many other players on the team. He's the kind of person to tell you that your shot was horrible and then laugh as he tells you to go run a lap. Coach Masters has your best interests in mind 100% of the time. He has an intense care for the team as well as our physical and spiritual well-being. Hebrews 13:7 says, "Remember your leaders who spoke the word of God to you. consider the outcome of their way of life, and imitate their faith. This is how we see Coach Masters. He is a godly man that we should all strive to imitate. He's an assertive, get-it-done type of guy, and when we think of him, the first thing that comes to mind is the first pillar of manhood: reject passivity. What rejecting passivity means is not waiting idly by when you know something wrong is happening. Being ready to anticipate what is next to come requires taking leadership and stepping up to what God has called you to do. So thank you, Coach Masters, for always being there for the team, and giving encouraging and impactful words, and bringing your excellent beard. Thank you, Dominion Academy of Dayton athletic parents, for raising your sons in a way that honors the Lord and walking with them in their faith. We have become the closest of friends, and this time in our lives will always be a part of our greatest memories. The future for Dominion Academy is bright.
Hello, I'm Caleb Masters, and I get the pleasure of talking about Coach Raymond. Coach Raymond has been our head coach for the last 5 years. We have grown to love him, not only as a coach, but as a friend and mentor. His genuine care for our physical and spiritual well-being is extremely awesome. When Coach Raymond arrived at DA for 6 years ago, he was building the program from the ground up. DA had just graduated a huge senior class, and we barely had enough guys to field a team. Coach Raymond did not seem too worried. He masterfully shaped a bunch of ragtag guys into a determined soccer team. Over the past 3 years, we have been blessed to win multiple conference championships, place second in both national and state levels, and consistently dominate the OVCC. I've often heard that DA is a good second half team, and that we play hard to the last whistle. Our ability to play hard to the last whistle is largely due to the conditioning that Coach makes us do all year long in his halftime pep talks. Not only does Coach make us run a crazy amount of practice to get us in shape, but every halftime he gives a powerful and motivational speech that encourages us on what we did right and what we need to do better to win. No matter what, however, he always like men of God on the field. In the end, we represent Christ, and that is the most important thing. Finally, I'd like to thank Coach Raymond for treating us all members on the team like family. He not only pushes us to the best we can on the field, but also asks us if we have anything that he can pray for us or anything that's going on in our personal lives that he can help us. His genuine interest and care for each player on this team has earned him the name Coach Daddy Raymond. Coach, it's been a pleasure playing with you for the last 5 years. Thank you for everything. I know I speak for the team when I say that we really love the devotionals during the summer and hope to do that again this summer.